Hello. As a passionate educator, I am drawn to advocate for emancipated foster youth. I, along with my group from Capstone 2, have based our research out of California's homeless population, and I will present to you our findings and some viable recommendations. Now, research indicates that previous foster home experiences, lack of self sufficiency skills, and inadequate social support contribute to homelessness in aged out foster children. These important youth need hireable skills prior to their 18th birthday. While it won't eliminate the problem, improving and mandating current independent living workshops just might improve the future for this vulnerable population. So let's begin by proposing a solution for California. According to the National Governors Association, governors have the power and responsibility to implement state laws and use executive orders, budgets, and legislative proposals to pursue programs and policies. Governor Newsom from California has proposed a $1.4 billion budget plan to address current homelessness. Why not allocate a portion of these funds toward proactive rather than reactive solutions to homelessness, particularly for emancipated youth who make up a significant portion of the homeless community? Nationwide, there are 25 to 30,000 children per year who will age out of the foster care system and are at risk of becoming homeless. In a typical year in California, more than 4,000 children age out of the foster care system. More than half of those children become homeless. Youth need support to help them become competent adults. If they leave the system with no preparation, guidance, or protection, they have little educational prospects and emotional support. These emancipated youth have nowhere to go and no one to turn to. Unprepared, without skills or opportunities. Emancipated youth have expressed frustration. They simply have missed out. They know they are lacking, and no one seems to care. The current programs offered do not facilitate independent living and self-reliance skills. These resources do not offer essential emotional or social support, which would make all the difference in helping them become contributing members to society. Now, yes, homeless resources exist. However, young adults who have aged out of the foster system are too afraid to use adult shelters due to fear of predators. Research has provided insight on the realities of housing for emancipated youth. About 65% lack affordable and safe housing once they leave the foster care system. Safe housing requires finances, and the homeless typically are jobless. They're not hireable because they do not have employable skills. Only 7% of emancipated youth have a livable wage income by the time they are 24 years old. As a result, they are at risk without jobs or safe housing. Sadly, those emancipated from the foster care system between ages 18 and 21 end up losing financial, educational, and other social support that was provided to them through the child welfare system. Lack of resources to prepare young adults with skills for independent living, lack of funds to afford housing, and the lack of support to make housing choices are all key contributors to the problem. Another contributing factor is these youth have very little formal training. They lack the resources to learn a trade or obtain certifications, and finding employment is a real issue. California does not have a system for these individuals to prepare for adulthood and survive independently. It is vital for the state to prioritize the needs of youth aging out of the foster system. These youth are at risk, and they feel invisible. So what's the solution? Not one single solution will solve the issue of homelessness among emancipated foster youth, but let's start with one viable option. Improve and enhance the current independent living workshops in California and make them mandatory. Humboldt County, California currently implements an independent living skills program. It uses a more instructive and informative approach in guiding the youth to become independent individuals. ILS also hosts special group events and individual services for the youth. Students who graduate and complete the program receive a household starter kit as an incentive. Now, this is an excellent program. So rather than replace it, our solution is to improve it. First, we recommend the workshops be mandatory for all youth between the ages of 12 and 21. We also suggest improved developmentally appropriate workshops for the youth. Revised interactive and individualized workshops and special events can be held once a month for the same 2-hour duration, but we would include dinner as an initial incentive. Dr. Donald Beagle, a specialist on poverty, teaches that it is impossible to develop a new skill on an empty stomach. Each workshop would fall under one of the following categories: finances, self-care, daily living, housing, emotions, and lastly, education. Workshops for ages 12 to 14 are designed to jumpstart life success. Adolescence is considered to be the transition between childhood and adulthood. To help these youth better articulate their feelings and channel them towards productive communication, relationship building and emotion coping classes would be provided. Our relationship building class would be offered exclusively to the 14-year-olds. This class will include how to have healthy relationships with peers, romantic partners, authority figures, and family. The remainder of the classes would include cooking, hygiene, and housekeeping classes to promote healthy physical development. Youth will be provided with budgeting and banking classes to teach them how to manage their money and solve basic money problems. Finally, a course in test and note-taking would be offered to these early adolescents to learn how to filter through the mass information provided in the general classroom. Classes would provide them with language and the professional world uses on a daily basis. With launching guidance and skills for success, foster care youth will feel comfortable and confident that as they begin the overwhelming transition into adulthood. Building upon completed classes, high schoolers ages 15 to 18 would be offered intermediate life skills workshops. The classes would focus on self-mastery skills, which foster confidence, provide practical expertise they can include on resumes, and encourage them to further advance in their current hobbies. This guided mentoring would include how to draft a resume, college prep, from applications clear to graduation, basic first aid, Microsoft Office suite training, typing, sewing, cooking, and other vocational skills like mechanics or even woodworking. The advanced workshop for emerging adults ages 19 to 21 would consist of adult life skills, including how to file taxes, how to apply for jobs, loans, and scholarships. It would also include how to conduct a successful interview and stress management. Professionalism and work environment training would address appearance, productivity, social norms, and time management. We would teach housing solutions by learning the different types of housing that's available with a specific emphasis on safety. Housing skills taught would include details on rental applications, paying rent on time, utilities, basic living expenses, financial literacy, and the possible consequences of not staying current with monthly expenses. Our youth are resilient. They are strong. They are good and capable. But they're also vulnerable, young, and in need of direction. And that's where you and I come in. Implementing the suggested changes to the current independent living program would arm our youth with the skills necessary to avoid homelessness. The youth cannot do this on their own. They need proactive leaders. Independently and collaboratively, we can decrease homelessness for our emancipated youth, increase their possibility for advancement and progression, and promote strength and skill for each child. Barack Obama said, "Change will not come if we wait for some other person or if we wait for some other time. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the change that we seek." Thank you.